What is happening, everybody? MG here. MG Covers bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video, the number one subjective angle for NHL that will make you money and save you money during the NHL season. Super excited to share this video. It's going to be super educational. Can't wait to get into it. Before we do that, as always, if you're watching this video for the first time, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Still want to hit my goal of 2,000 subs. A little bit behind by the end of the year. So if you're watching this video for the first time, hit the sub, or if you've never subbed to the channel, greatly appreciate you doing that. If you follow me on social media, I'm MGCovers, covers spelled with a Z. I give out a ton of content on Instagram. And before we dive into this video, I want to show you the success we're having with the models. Again, my goal, if you follow me for any length of time, majority of my handicap is driven from my model, and my goal was to create as many quote plug and play models as possible. And you take a look at this is NBA right now. We're sitting at 24-17. This is the model. I haven't officially started playing, just to disclose that. But the model as it sits, playing this as a plug and play model, is 24-17. That's 55%, up 7.43 units. And that's counting one game per unit, grading it the correct way. And you look over here at the next one at the NCAA basketball model, a ton of success. I did a previous video on that. Currently 10-2, didn't have any plays last night via the model, up 7.9 units. So excellent time to become a client. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. So let's dive in this. The number one statistical angle, the number one subjective angle for NHL is teams playing 3 games in 4 days, all on the road. This is something, if you follow me, we've talked about this in the past, but it's such a huge angle. And let me give you one for baseball. The best statistical angle or best subjective angle last year for baseball, or for baseball in general, is teams trying to sweep. It's very similar to that, meaning in baseball, it's very rare for teams to sweep. So if you're playing a team that has the potential to sweep, you would avoid them. And if your handicapping indicated maybe an underdog had a 50-50 chance of winning a game and they were trying to avoid a sweep, that would be a play. Strongest subjective angle for baseball. Big shout out to David, my client, great handicapper, who turned me on to that stat. This one's just as good. So you take a look here at Colorado was playing LA Kings this was December the 3rd. Okay, they were playing December 3rd. So we take a look at their schedule. So on November the 30th, they played at Arizona. So Colorado, Arizona, not that big of a road trip, but it's still on the road. And if you travel at any length, for me personally, very difficult for me to get a good night's sleep away from home. And it's just, it's different for your body. It takes your body a while to adjust. And they ended up in California, so they ended up going into a different time zone as well. So let's take a look. November the 30th, they lost to Arizona 3-4, and they played overtime. So that was an extra 5 minutes in that game. They turned around. They were off on December 1st, but had to turn around and play again Anaheim on December the 2nd. That one went to a shootout, so they played another 5 minutes. So they played basically an extra period of golf between November the 30th and December the 2nd. They lost that one. Then they had to turn around and play LA Kings, who at the time I had graded as the number one team in NHL. So let me show you something that's very interesting. And this is making a great point about why this is a huge subjective angle. It's the fact that NHL is a cardiovascular sport. It's the same as NBA. You don't see it as much in NFL. Sometimes in NFL, teams having to, if they played on Sunday, having to turn around and play on Thursday, that's difficult. But generally, that both teams are having the same amount of rest. But in this case, LA was extremely rested. I'll show you that in a second. But take a look at this box score from Anaheim in their second game. They had 37 shots on goal, which is pretty good. I mean, they could have easily won that game, right? 37 shots on goal. Now look at this. December the 3rd, they're playing LA Kings. This is their third game in 4 days. So they were gassed, and they're a good team. 21 shots on goal. So it affects two parts in hockey. Hockey, a cardiovascular sport, right? You have to outskate, for lack of a better word, your opponent in order to score, and you have to rush back on defense. So it makes it difficult. Number one, it makes it difficult to score. Number two, it makes it difficult to defend as well. And they played well in that first period, but by the third period, they were gassed, gave up 3 goals, almost back to back to back. They're in a within a 5-minute period, gave up 3 goals. Kings won that 4-1. And generally what you'll see in these type games, the team will generally play hard for first 2 periods, and then by that third period, they're gassed, which was the case here, or you'll see them give up a lot of goals early. So again, teams playing the subjective angle to avoid teams playing their third game in 4 days all on the road, or to play for a team that's playing against a team that's playing that third game in 4 days, if that makes sense. So let's take a look at one other example from last night. Not 100% similar, but close. Last night was Tuesday. We'll go over here to the Rangers playing Ottawa. Now, in this case, Rangers were the favorite, and Ottawa was the dog there. So you were getting, fading this concept, you were getting dog money. So you take a look at, yeah, here we go. So December the 2nd, Rangers, this isn't 100% all three were on the road, but close enough. The only time I would avoid this if the team's playing that third game at home, which generally means the night before they came back to their home, so they're resting in their same bed. So I would generally applicable when the team is playing that third game on the road. So you see here in Nashville, they won 4-3. Then they played again the next night, San Jose, played that at home, had December the 4th off, but then turned around and played Ottawa on the road, lost 2-6. And we'll take a look at this box score as well. Now, they ended up getting a few shots on goal, a good amount there at 35, but again, ended up giving up 6 goals. Again, it's so hard to play really good hockey when you're tired like that. So good offensively, but just couldn't defend. And you could see here what happened. Like I mentioned earlier, they gave up 2 goals in the first period, gave up 3 in the second. So again, so that's the concept. And really, you could just focus on this. How often does this happen? This happens a lot in NHL. You'll see just because it's a very robust schedule. And I want to go back to this LA game here and show you something that's interesting too. Like NFL, generally teams are on the same amount of rest, but look at LA when they were entering this game against Colorado. They played the 25th. They were off 26th, 27th, 28th. They played a game on the 29th. They were off the 30th. They were off the 1st. They were off the 2nd. So LA Kings came into this game. This was basically a gimme game, so to speak. So LA Kings were extremely rested coming into this. Colorado was gassed. You know, granted, line was minus 160. We actually played this one, but played it on the 3-way line. I've made videos about that, which means they have to win in regulation. And I think we actually got them for maybe like minus 113 or something. So very strong angle to look for. Teams playing their third game in 4 days, and that third game being on the road. Definitely fade that or look at possibly playing the other team. All right, so if you want access to the power rankings I mentioned earlier, we have a ton of sports right now. We have NFL. I'm going to release my college bowl games for the power rankings for that, NBA, soccer, college basketball. So you get a ton of content, all that for $50. You get also access to all my coaching videos. If you want access to all my plays and everything I just mentioned, $100 a month. The best value is to join for an entire year. You save $600 off the price of paying $100 a month. That comes to $4.99. You get everything on the website for 1 year. So it's a great time to join. There's a link to join the description box. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will talk to you guys soon. Peace.